I'm Cathy Ebel. I'm the Director of Social Emotional Learning and Behavior Support for School District 51. So we are a department under Student Services, and we primarily are concerned with removing barriers for youth who have risk factors to academics, behavior, mental health and wellness. We also support schools in creating systems and structures that create environments where kids feel safe and belong. So we kind of run the gamut of things to support young people in their schools. When a student has a disability, there's a whole other structure of supports. And so, everything we offer across the system, we offer to all students, regardless of socioeconomics, regardless of race, ethnicity, regardless of disability status, LGBTQ. We offer the same resources to everyone because we are a federally funded system, and we have to provide equitable services. So in the school district, definitely since the pandemic, I think the pandemic has had a pretty major impact on the mental health and wellness of both our staff and students. With students, we're seeing an increase in needs around substance use, around, we have some real trauma that has come out of the pandemic, whether it was fear, whether there was illness in a family, whether a family has suffered some financial or other losses, whether it was just the disconnection for so long from school in terms of knowing that there was going to be school, there was going to be food there, those kinds of things. So I think since that happened, that's had a real impact on our families and our young people. And there's more of a need around some counseling support, some mental health support, both with our adults in the system and our students. We've also seen some increase in aggressive behavior. We have some increased discipline and increased substance use. I think those patterns were becoming established, but then when the pandemic hit, it just really exacerbated everything and increased the need. So, we're a school district, so we're not mental health providers. We do have wonderful teachers that build relationships. We have counselors to support, and we do have some mental health therapists, but that's not designed to be long-term support. So if our students need more of that, we can make referrals out into the community, but there can be so many barriers in the community if they have providers that aren't taking certain insurances or Medicaid, or if they don't have transportation, or if parents are working evenings and have no way to get a child. So there are all kinds of barriers that occur once we have to do a handoff because we don't have those services and support being a school system. I think I've worked with lots of other school systems in the state, and I think we have a really robust support, but it's not meant to be long-term. And when that's the need, we have to rely on our community partners. All schools have school counselors and school psychologists, and all schools have access to actually a mental health therapist, a licensed therapist that's supported through our Medicaid dollars. But there are 8 of them for 22,000 students in the district. So it's really kind of reserved for the most intensive needs, and it's designed to be short term. I feel like always accessibility, is so key, whether it's inside the school or whether it's in the community. And there are barriers through no fault of anyone's, but there are also ways to reduce barriers. And as our community struggles to kind of regain its footing after the pandemic, and just in general, this is a really tough time to be a kid. This is, there's a lot of adult weight on kids. There's a lot of rhetoric and language and anger just surrounding so many topics that kids hear and kids absorb, and that's not how it used to be. Our parents protected us from adult things, but our kids are very weighed down by adult things, and it's hard for them to be kids. And without, like you were saying, the pro-social activities, and without positive role models, and without really solid connections to school and community resources, it's super hard for our kids to be kids. And I think that it's our job as adults to remove those barriers, to make things easier on them. I think it's critical. And I think it is such a simple and impactful solution. I think that the research is pretty clear that movement and nature and all those things really support our ability to process our emotions and our mental health and wellness. And lots of our kids don't have opportunities for pro-social activities. So the more as a community we can come together and provide those opportunities for young people, the easier it is for them to stay away from the things that maybe are the negative coping skills. Being engaged outdoors and having hobbies and athletics and any kind of things out in nature really takes the place of the need to have maybe substances or negative coping skills. That's their positive coping skill, to kind of clear their heads and work through issues. I wish all kids had genuine opportunities for things that they were passionate about, interested in doing, and it was available to them without barriers. I think that we would have so many fewer problems with kids really struggling if we had those opportunities.